Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be episode 230 for you guys today. And to kick off this week's episode, I'll be sharing my NFL early quarterback report card grades from the first 8 weeks of the NFL season. So I have a total of six to eight quarterbacks for you guys that's on my early report card list. Starting off with number 6, Baker Mayfield. So how this is going to work, guys, I'm going to start from their letter grade. I'm going to start with each quarterback that I'm going to name. Start from their week 1 performances all the way up to their latest performance up to date and share a letter grade for their performances. So starting off with number 6, Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 1 on the road against the Atlanta Falcons in the opener on the road against a divisional rival. He had a game-winning drive. I get that particular performance a letter grade of an A. Week 2 on the road in that Monday night game against the Houston Texans. He had another game-winning drive, went toe-to-toe against C.J. Stroud. I get that a letter grade of an A. Week 3 against the Jets in their home opener. I get that a B+, had another game-winning drive as well. Week 4 against the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. They fell short at home. But overall, I give Baker Mayfield a letter grade of a B-. Week 5 on the road in hostile territory in Seattle to play the Seattle Seahawks. He had another game-winning drive. I give that that performance a letter grade of an A+. Week 6 at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Another outstanding game by Baker. I give that a letter grade of an A. Then last night on the road for Monday Night Football, playing against the Detroit Lions, against a banged-up Lions that had injuries all across the board in their secondary from their starting corners and their starting safeties. Baker Mayfield played his worst game up to date in the season, so I have to give a letter grade of a C- for his performance that he had last night against the Detroit Lions. Overall letter grade, I give Baker Mayfield an A-. You can't go wrong with Baker Mayfield's play. He's had 4 game-winning drives in the first 8 weeks of the NFL season. Last night played pretty bad against a depleted Detroit Lions team that suffered a lot of injuries, but those guys came up to play. That motto of next man up in football, they definitely came to play. The pass rush got home to Baker Mayfield, was very uncomfortable in the pocket, missed a lot of open receivers. At times, you could tell he wasn't on the same page with his receivers as well. Mike Evans, they just got him back. Unfortunately, suffered a concussion and a broken collarbone in that game last night against the Detroit Lions. So other than that, Baker Mayfield has played outstanding ball, and I give him an early overall grade of an A- up to this particular point of the NFL season thus far. Next on the list, it's my guy, Dak Prescott, number 4 for the Dallas Cowboys. Week 1, banner night in Philadelphia. I thought Dak Prescott played really well. I gave him a letter grade of an A. Week 2, the home opener against the New York Giants, a divisional shootout that we won that game in overtime. I give Dak Prescott a letter grade of an A. Week 3 on the road in Chicago against the Chicago Bears with CeeDee Lamb exiting this game early. Dennis Allen's defense was closing in on Dak Prescott in that offensive line. Dak Prescott was under a lot of stress and played his worst game of the season. I give that a D+, that letter grade of a D+. Week 4 in that thriller Sunday night game against the Green Bay Packers. I loved everything that I saw out of Dak Prescott when I attended that game at AT&T Stadium. I get that performance a letter grade of an A+. Week 5 on the road at MetLife Stadium to play the New York Jets. I give that a letter grade of an A. With a lot of offensive linemen, 4 starting offensive linemen, mind you, that did not suit up, and Dak Prescott didn't get touched. No stains were left on that beautiful white jersey that he played in that day. Week 6 on the road against the Carolina Panthers. That game resulted in a loss for the Cowboys, but I think Dak still played well. I give that a letter grade of an A. Then Week 7 against the Commanders. I give that a letter grade of an A. So overall, I give Dak Prescott an overall letter grade of an A. My early report card grade for Dak Prescott early on in the season is an A. Dak Prescott has been outstanding. He has played at an MVP caliber level. This is the best ball that we've seen Dak Prescott play up to this particular point of his NFL career, minus that 2023 year. I mean, it's hard to say that anybody else is playing the quarterback position better than Dak Prescott is right now. If Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys didn't have a record of 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie, he would honestly be the odds-on favorite to win the MVP award right now. He's elevating players to play at the next level. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, they're going to be a lethal duo together. But George Pickens, he is elevated to play and show why he is a true number 1 wide receiver. Jake Ferguson at the tight end position has stepped up The offensive line, throughout the injuries, they have played really well as a unit. Javonte Williams has stepped up as well. Dak Prescott's just making everybody better around him. On the offensive side of the ball, I have to give him an early letter grade of an A to start off the NFL season. Josh Allen. Josh Allen, guys. Let's go for Josh Allen here. Week 1, a Sunday night game against the Baltimore Ravens, I give that a letter grade of an A. Week 2 against the New York Jets, I give that a letter grade of a B minus. Thursday night against the Miami Dolphins, week 3, I give that a letter grade of an A. He had 3 passing touchdowns in that game. Probably his best game up to date this season, minus that comeback game that he had against the Baltimore Ravens week 1. Week 4, on the road against the New Orleans Saints, I give this a letter grade of a B. Week 5, I give against the New England Patriots. They lost that Sunday night game. I give that letter grade of a B minus. Week 6, on the road in that Monday night game, in his latest performance against the Atlanta Falcons, I give that a C minus performance because he played inconsistent in my eyes and didn't really put the Bills in position to win that ball game against the Atlanta Falcons. Overall letter grade thus far, I'll give Josh Allen a B minus. Josh Allen has helped the Buffalo Bills start off at 4-2. I mean, looking at his stats, he's playing well. 1,397 passing yards, 11 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a QBR of 63.0. It's not bad, but you can tell Josh Allen needs help with a true number 1 wide receiver around him. I mean, once upon a time, he did have a Stephon Diggs, but it seems like he needs a number 1 wide receiver around him. I'm going to give him an overall letter grade of a B minus. Then we're going to Mac Jones. Mac Jones has been the starter for a few games since Brock Purdy's been injured. We'll go over all of his starts. Week 2 on the road against the New Orleans Saints, I give that a letter grade performance of a B+. Week 3 against the Cardinals, I give that a letter grade of a C+. Thursday night game against the Los Angeles Rams, week 5, I give that a letter grade performance of an A. Dug down deep and helped the 49ers win that game in overtime against a divisional rival. Week 6 on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he went back down after that big week 5 game. I give that a letter grade of a C+. And then Sunday night, when we just seen him in prime time against the Atlanta Falcons, really didn't over exceed my expectations. He got a letter grade of a C+ for me. So overall, early report card grade for Mac Jones, I'll give it a C+. And honestly, I apologize for saying that Mac Jones deserves to start over Brock Purdy because that was completely wrong. And I got a bit carried away after the 49ers won that overtime game against the Los Angeles Rams back in week 5 on Thursday Night Football. But Mac Jones is doing enough for the 49ers to win ball games. And I think Brock Purdy will look much better than what Mac Jones has showed me since he played that week 6 game against the Bucs and then that Sunday night game against the Atlanta Falcons. So, again, I was wrong about that take. I think I just got carried away in the stat column and a little bit of the play that Mac Jones has displayed. But overall, they're better off with Brock Purdy as their starting quarterback. I think Mac Jones deserves to get a C+ letter grade of his early report card grade. Ooh, next quarterback is pretty interesting. Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos. We'll go from week 1. That home opener against the Titans didn't look too good. I give that a letter grade of a D+. Week 2 on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. That was a pretty good game that they lost overall, but I thought he played pretty well. I give that a letter grade of a B-. Week 3 against the Los Angeles Chargers. I get that a letter grade of a C-. Week 4 against the Cincinnati Bengals. I give that a letter grade of a B-. They won that game 28-3 pretty comfortably on Monday Night Football. Big comeback win, week 5 on the road against the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Scored 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. I give that a letter grade of an A. Week 6, that New York Jets game that they played against them over in London, I give that a C+. Week 7 against the New York Giants in that huge comeback game, scoring 33 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Can't wait to talk about that later on. But I give that a letter grade of an A. So overall, Bo Nix gets a letter grade of a B-. Some of his performances could have been a little bit better, and it's expected because he's still trying to figure out who he is and his true identity in the NFL in his sophomore season. You know, every rookie can look a little flashy on film. Once you get a whole offseason to dissect the film and see what tendencies these quarterbacks like to do, then the game comes a little bit harder for them. And I think that's what Bo Nix has gone through early in his sophomore season, but he hasn't played too bad. I think a letter grade of a B- is appropriate for Bo Nix early on in the NFL season. Next quarterback. Geno Smith for the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh, this is going to be the worst one I give. Week 1 against the New England Patriots on the road, his best performance was a win. I give that a letter grade of an A-. That Monday Night Football game in their home opener, Week 2 against the Los Angeles Chargers, I get that a letter grade of an F. Week 3 on the road against the Washington Commanders, I get that a letter grade of a C+. Week 4 against the Bears at home, and they lost that game in a close one, I get that a letter grade of a D+. Week 5 on the road against Indianapolis Colts, I give that a letter grade of an F. Complete belt-to-ass performance. Week 6 at home against the Titans, I give that a C. And Week 7 in the latest performance on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs, I give that an F-. So overall letter grade I give Geno Smith is an F-. Oh, actually, I'll be lenient. I'll give Geno Smith an F. So overall letter grade for Geno Smith is going to be an F. Now, Geno Smith has been a huge disappointment for the Las Vegas Raiders this NFL season. He has not worked out for the Raiders this NFL season, and he's not worth $75 million to keep around much longer after the season in Vegas. Pete Carroll, his former head coach in Seattle that gave him his big break when the Seattle Seahawks traded Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos, and Geno Smith stepped up and became their starting quarterback. This isn't flashes of 2022, 2023 anymore, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll made a mistake and wanted his former quarterback to be his quarterback in Vegas, and it has not worked out. It has been one of the worst things for the Las Vegas Raiders this season, the quarterback play. Geno Smith has been completely stinking up the joint this year. I mean, 7 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a QBR of 34.4. His play is one of the reasons why the Las Vegas Raiders sit at 2-5, last place in the AFC West. And on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs on the road, don't even get me started about how he performed in the rest of the offense. The Raiders offense had a total of 3 first downs in that 31-0 loss against the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. It doesn't get much worse than this. I think Geno Smith is at rock bottom. If he continues this, they're going to bench him and play the other guy. What's his name? Aiden O'Connell. He's going to come in and play again in Vegas. But it's just been horrible for Geno Smith. An F is an appropriate letter grade for him. Next quarterback. We got 2 more. Next quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Let's go over him. Week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys in that opener, I gave him a solid B+. Got it done with his legs rather than his arm in that victory against the Cowboys. Week 2 on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs, only had a little over 100 yards passing. I give it that a C+. Week 3 at home against the Rams, huge comeback win for the Eagles in the second half. I give that a letter grade of an A+. Week 4 on the road against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I give that a letter grade of a B. Week 5 against the Broncos at home, I'll give that a letter grade of a B, even though they couldn't do anything in the second half offensively. Week 6 on the road against the New York Giants, I give that a letter grade of a C. Week 7 on the road against the Minneapolis Vikings. Oh, I said Minneapolis. Minnesota Vikings. Thinking of the Colts and the Vikings at the same time. Minnesota Vikings. I give that a letter grade of an A+. Overall letter grade for Jalen Hurts, I'll give Jalen Hurts a B. It hasn't been perfect for Jalen Hurts, but there's been a lot of ups and downs for Jalen Hurts. He's played pretty good ball. I mean, only 1 turnover, 1 interception all year long. The Eagles' offense just needs more balance. And I talked about that last week on last week's episode with Kevin Patulio being the play caller for the Philadelphia Eagles. On Sunday against the Vikings, you couldn't ask for better play out of Jalen Hurts. He balled out, 326 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He had his pass catchers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, roaring out there against the Minnesota Vikings secondary. So I think a B is appropriate. And then the last quarterback I'll go over will be Tua Tagovailoa. Week 1 on the road against Indianapolis Colts, that was a D-. Week 2 at home against the Patriots, I give that a letter grade of a C+. Week 3 on the road against the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football, I give that a B-. Monday Night Football at home against the New York Jets, I give it a B-. Week 5 on the road against the Carolina Panthers, a losing effort. He shined. I give that an A-. Week 6 at home against the Los Angeles Chargers, a game they choked away. I'll give it a letter grade of a D. And last week's performance, Week 7 against the Cleveland Browns, I give a letter grade of a F-. So overall letter grade for Tua Tagovailoa, I'll give Tua a D- early report card grade for his play for the first 7 weeks of the NFL season. The Dolphins are sitting at 1-6 right now, and a huge point to the finger has to go to Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, he has to be pointed at for the Dolphins' 1-6 start. There's no leadership. He's blaming others in that Dolphins locker room. Inconsistent play. This guy is a $212 million quarterback, and he's hardly elevated any pass catchers around him. I know Tyreek Hill is going for this season, but damn, you still got a lot of pass catchers around you. You still got Jalen Waddle. You still got Darren Waller back at tight end. I mean, there's still pass catchers there in Miami, but he's not elevating anybody. And every time he plays bad, he points the finger at somebody else besides himself, because these numbers are bad. 11 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a QBR of 42.9. The only standout performance that, in my opinion, that Tua has had all year long was that very close game that the Dolphins had in losing fashion against the Carolina Panthers. Other than that, he's just been good and hasn't been anything better than good. Good, inconsistent, or horrible describes Tua Tagovailoa. And he just had 100 yards passing against the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. Unacceptable play. But early on, that's 8 quarterbacks that I gave you guys for the opening segment. Those are my early NFL report card grades for those following quarterbacks after the first 7 weeks of the NFL season.